am going to ask you to imagine the unimaginable right now. You wake up to find out your child has died in her sleep. Imagine she is your only child, the person you've loved, dreamed for, and invested in for 24 years. Now imagine this entire nightmare plays out in public. This is what's happened to our very own Erin Davis, and today she is here. She is going to talk about her new book, Mourning Has Broken, Love, Loss, and Reclaiming Joy. Give her so much love. Erin Davis, everyone.
Thank you, Tracy. So good to see you.
Goodness, I'm so happy to have you back here. You know, I've always loved you, and you were such a huge part of the broadcast family here. Then I read the book, and I loved you more.
Thank you.
Because it was the good, it was the bad, it was the ugly. You dug deep. It's written beautifully, but I mean, I was devastated for your loss. So what I want to know is going back and revisiting those first days when you first found out Lauren had died. How hard was it to write this book?
I'm glad that you asked that, and I will always be grateful to Tracy for reasons that are in the book and that we may get into. But people often think it must have been cathartic, but it was something that we didn't want to go through again and again and again, my husband and I, because there were so many parts of the whole experience, especially in the immediate aftermath, that I simply didn't remember. You know, and shock is a really wonderful thing. It's just so merciful. But so we had to relive it, and we had to go back, and we had to research things, and to talk to other people who were there in order to remember. And of course, you're remembering the worst time in your life as well. So it was extremely difficult.
People don't know what to say.
Yes, that's true.
They don't know what to say, and I think part of what's great about this book is it's a bit of a resource in terms of what not to say.
Yeah.
You say two of the words you hated the most were at least. Why is at least a problem?
It comes from a place of kindness, and I know that. And as you know, when people meet you and they want to have something to say right away, sometimes the thing that comes out is not the most helpful or the way that they want it to be. At least you have a grandson. At least you still have your husband. I heard that one. At least she died peacefully. All of these at least, and indeed they were comforting things, and they were things for us to say. You know, if you're trying to console or comfort someone, don't use the words at least, because it minimizes what they're going through. It's not anyone's place but your own to own those words and to count your blessings and to be grateful. And to be sure, my husband Rob and I are extremely grateful for so many things and so many aspects, even in Lauren's passing and the aftermath. But yeah, stay away from at least as much as you can.
Don't do it. And here's another thing we do. People see you and they don't want to talk about Lauren.
Ah, yeah.
They don't want to talk about Lauren. What parent out there doesn't want to talk about their child all day, all night, whether they're here or in another place?
Yeah.
So you want to hear about Lauren. You want to talk about Lauren.
Sure, and I think any bereaved parent would tell you the same thing, or husband or wife or anyone who has lost someone significant in their life. And that is that, and I was just talking with Mike Cooper about this very recently, my former radio partner, our beloved friend. He lost his wife Debbie in October. And people want to, they don't want to hurt you. They don't want to say anything that's going to make you break down in tears. But the tears have already been shed. I'm not going to break down. We're not going to break down by talking about Lauren. We love to know that you're thinking of her. So in Mike's case, someone said to him the other day, instead of how are you, they said, what do you love to remember about Debbie? You know? And there's a question, you can't go wrong with a question like that, right? Because it's just, you stop and you go, oh, you know what? I loved her sense of humor, and that goes for Debbie and for Lauren and for so many that we've lost. But just ask that question, or how are you today?
Yes.
Instead of how are you? How are you today? Because it really is a roller coaster ride.
in this moment, at this second.
Exactly.
Because that could change.
Yeah, and you know, to be sure, many parents will react differently to someone bringing up their child, and some really are raw enough that it will bring them to tears. And you probably should know that about the person before you ask that question, but it really is nice to know, because there's an old saying that as long as someone's name is said, they will never die.
Yes.
And just to be remembered,
yeah,
is a special thing, and that means more to Rob and to me than anything.
Thank you for giving us those tools. I found the book was amazing, and I'm going to tell you something else. The book is devastating and will tear your heart out, and you'll laugh.
Good.
You will
Because that's
laugh.
life, right?
That is life.
It is
like
life.
you nailed it in this book. So there were the highs, there were the lows. You're going to want to reach out to people you know and love. I'm just so proud of you for Mourning Has Broken and for where you've come. We're going to talk about Lauren all the time now. I will just email you randomly.
I would love that.
And we will talk all about it. So we are actually going to draw for signed copies of Erin's book, Mourning Has Broken, Love, Loss, and Reclaiming Joy. You are going to love it as much as we love you, Erin and Rob. We wish you the best. Keep being strong, and you're just amazing. Thank you for sharing your soul with us.
Thank you for letting this book begin here, because it was on Cityline that the senior vice president of HarperCollins Publishing was sitting here on a girls' day with her sisters. She could have been anywhere that day. She was here, and then that weekend she wrote and said, "You've got a book in you."
I was interviewing Erin. Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. No, thank you, honey. Thank you so much.